Today, more than ever, we see that building huge wealth isn't necessarily tied to a formal college education. In this video, I'm gonna show you 4 things that college doesn't teach you, but they should. These are the things I learned from studying the most successful people. These are the outliers, and they helped me build multiple 7-figure businesses, and I know they're gonna help you do the same, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Now, I'm not gonna go deep into my story. Most of you guys, if you've been watching this channel, you know that, but I came from a blue collar home, a construction family home. I got started early investing. I made a lot of money investing, put everything into real estate, did really good with it. I thought I was on top of the world and I lost everything. And the reason I did that, the reason I lost it is because I didn't have the financial education. I didn't have the foundation that I needed to keep it. You know, it crushed me at first, but basically what happened is I decided, look, I gotta figure this out. I gotta figure out why this happened to me. I spent the last 10 years studying financial markets, studying the most successful people, trying to figure this out, trying to figure out why there was this gap between rich and poor. You know, stuff that I didn't learn in school. School doesn't really teach us this. They're really good at teaching us about geography and geometry. They don't really tell us how this works. They didn't give me the financial education, the foundation I needed to keep the wealth once I had made it. 10 years of research I've put into this, and I'm gonna break it down into 4 steps for you right now, and hopefully it saves you 10 years. If I would have only known this stuff a long time ago, it would have really helped me out. So if you've ever struggled with money, if you've ever struggled with getting ahead, if you feel like you can't get ahead, if you feel like you don't know how to do it, then this video is for you. Statistically, people don't move up. Your parents' income is really a predictor of what your income is gonna be. It's hard for us to break out of society classes. And so coming from a construction home, I was in that kind of income level. And so what I uncovered is that every person can. So it's possible, it's just statistically the odds are against you. The average person working is getting about a 2 to 3% pay raise every year. So if you're working your 9 to 5 job, but think about that, a 2 or 3% pay raise a year, that means you're gonna double your income every 22, 23 years. That's a long time. I can't wait that long. We're gonna be dead. You have to learn how to accelerate your growth. And we've talked about this in other videos about getting paid for your value and learning ways to increase your value, but we need to be able to accelerate our growth. And so when I studied and I researched all these people, like I said, I looked at these outliers. Who are these guys that really made a big impact? And what did they do? And I saw that 1 out of 100, right? The 1 out of 100, they weren't the average person. They weren't the masses. And that's who we have to look at. The number one thing I learned is that they catch trends. So you have to get in early on a new trend. We talked about like technology cycles, but there's all types of little trends, mini trends within that. And if you can get in early on a trend, you can make a lot of money. There's a couple things that cause people from missing out on trends, and a lot of that is in their mindset. So they're cynical, they're stubborn, they're set in their ways. When they see a trend, they can automatically disregard it. Oh, that will never work, that'll never happen. One of the most successful people that I studied is Steve Jobs from Apple, and he basically created like this personal computer, kind of brought the personal computer to the masses. And when he did it at a time, people laughed at him. They told him there was no need for anyone to have a personal computer in their home. They thought it was ridiculous. And so he had a lot of negative people telling him that, but of course he persevered. He had thick skin, luckily. Now today, everybody has personal computers. I have also kind of made a career off of chasing personal trends. From 1995 to 2005, I was really heavy into real estate, so that was a big real estate boom. In 2001, I started my first internet business. It was an e-commerce business, and so from 2001, right when the internet boom started, and up until about 2008, I built that up. In like 2006 to like 2012, I was in mortgage. These are businesses that I was either invested in or running, and each one was taking skills from something I learned before. So I took skills from my real estate, and I took skills from my internet businesses, and then I got into internet marketing for mortgage businesses. And then I took what I had built off of those 3 businesses and about homeowners and moved that into like the solar industry. Investing into all these different businesses, marketing. In 2015, I got involved into cryptocurrency and made more money than I've ever made on anything in cryptocurrency. And it was all because I was seeing these trends and I was moving into them and either actively building businesses in them or investing into them either way. How can you find trends? Well, the first thing is you just have to be open to it. You need to just have your eyes open and you just gotta be looking around. And the more that you're open to it, the more these ideas will come to you. There's like that book, The Secret, and the secret is that whatever you see, whatever you want, you will attract it to you. Maybe you're not a magnet bringing it to you, but just the fact that you're open and looking for it, then you'll start to see it. A more manual way to do this is just go right to Google. You search Google Trends, and they have a thing called Google Trends, and they show you all the trends that are happening. Recently, I read this book about Nike, and it's from Phil Knight. He was the founder of Nike, and he wrote this book recently called Shoe Dog. And he talks about how Nike was really struggling financially, and they weren't able to break through. And he saw these trends of sneakers over in Japan. He went over to Japan and got these sneakers that were really creating this trend over there, and he brought them to the US, and then Nike took off. Pay attention. Watch from trends. When I talk to other people about starting businesses or these problems and solutions that I see, and a lot of times the first thing they tell me is, yeah, but this is gonna happen, and all these bad things that can happen, but this could happen, and this problem's gonna be there, and this problem's gonna be there. They see all these pitfalls. And I typically say, yeah, you're right. All those things will happen. And I'm just okay with it, right? You have to admit it, but they're already defeating themselves before they've even started. Whereas I'm able to look at those and go, yeah, those are gonna happen, but that's okay. I'll overcome those because I know that the goal is worth it. And that brings me to number two. The number two thing that I'll talk about is building good mental habits. It's really one of the most important things. In school, we learn nothing about habits. Habits allow us to do things on autopilot. We only have so much willpower, so much self-discipline. We run out of willpower. It's like a muscle and it gets tired. So we need to put things onto habits, and then we just go through the motion. Most people think that massive success comes from like one big thing. If I can only achieve this one big thing, my life will be different. But the reality is, your life changes from little things done over long periods of time. So you build these little habits that you do consistently over long periods of time, and your life changes. In school, they taught us how to memorize a bunch of stuff, right? You learned how to memorize the capital of some country, halfway around the world. But do you really need that?
No, God! No, God, please, no, no!
Albert Einstein said that, why would we want to fill our head with a bunch of useless facts that we could just look up in any book? Why do we want to learn that outdated way of thinking? Really, we should be learning about building good habits. What we really want to focus on building is building mental habits of how to block out fear, how to overcome fear, how to have positive thinking, how to be open and receptive to new ideas. I know some people think, oh, you're just born this way. You were born optimistic, I was born pessimistic, but that's not true. You can learn to operate that system differently. You can learn to change the programming, but it takes work. You're gonna have to focus on it. The third thing is we need to be like a sponge, all right? This is something that I learned after really studying all these people. They say that the average income, your average income, is going to be the average of the five people you spend the most time with. And I don't know how factual that is. I haven't really backed that up, but I've heard that a bunch of times. But what I do know is that if you want to make, let's say, $1 million, then you need to be hanging out with people that make a lot more money than that. You need to be hanging out with people that make 10 times that. That way, where if they don't make $1 million, they're disappointed. You need to be thinking, talking to those people, learning to think like that. When I first started investing in real estate, I was young. I was about 20 years old and I bought my first piece of property. Why? I had a friend and he knew this guy who was older than us, and he was buying all these bank-owned properties, and he was doing 100 of these properties at a time. It seemed like a great idea, and we got information from him, and he helped us get our first real estate deal. And I started buying these really low-income homes and buying and fixing up and selling them. And then I wanted to move from that low-income home, and I wanted to start building. And so I met some other people who were building custom homes, multi-million-dollar homes. And then I started building custom multi-million-dollar homes. And then I started building commercial projects. And it was all because of people that I was meeting and I was learning from and I was drafting off of. Every business that I've been in, every business that I've invested in or started has been through my network. These are all ideas that I've got from other people. A lot of people will ask the question, well, I don't know anybody. Where do I find these people? There's lots of ways, plenty of books that you can read. There's lots of podcasts that you can listen to for free, YouTube videos that you can watch for free. There's all types of local meetups, networking events, business groups that you can attend. And it's also like a game of like leapfrog. So, find somebody that you know and then find out who their network is and jump to them. So when I gave like the real estate example, like it was actually like a friend of a friend that got us in. Make sure you're giving them value first. Never just go and try and ask and suck them dry, right? So find somebody, figure out a way you can provide value to them, and they're going to return the favor to you, and then just go along for the ride. The big problem that I have with college is that, one, like I said, they're not really teaching you this stuff. If you want to be like really good in sports, for example, you'd want to learn from somebody who had achieved that already. So you wouldn't want to learn basketball from someone who's never played basketball or couldn't even play basketball, right? Most coaches that you'll find in any discipline are typically like ex-professionals, people that have achieved like a really high level of success, and then they go into coaching and teaching and mentoring other people. But most college professors, they've never really been successful with businesses. They're not like titans of industry. And there's a saying that says those who can do and those who can't teach. And so, rich people don't really go teach college. There might be some exceptions, and if you're a college teacher, I apologize, but for the most part, they're not, the Steve Jobs, the Elon Musk, they're not going to teach at colleges. But those people do write books. Steve Jobs has a book. Elon Musk has a book. They go on podcasts. You can watch all types of YouTube videos with those guys. You can listen to all types of podcasts. You do have access to them, they're just not in college. And the reason why wealthy stay wealthy, the rich stay rich, is not because of the money that gets passed down, like a lot of people think, it's because of the education that gets passed down. They have information that they share with their kids and then on and on and on that they keep passing down. They're not getting it from schools. Think about like the Walmart family, the Waltons. They're the richest, if you add up all their wealth, I believe they're maybe the richest people in the world, the richest family in the world. And it wasn't just because they inherited money, but they learned these business principles, they learned these success principles, and each kid has become successful on their own. And the fourth thing you need to be successful is you have to take massive action, all right? Now, this may not be what you want to hear, but you have to take action. Of course, it makes sense. It's not what you're hearing, it's not what you're saying, it's what you're doing. Less talking, more doing. Now, it's easy to think about this in other parts of life. So if you wanted to run a marathon, for example, right? Well, okay, I'm gonna run this marathon on this date. Well, of course, you're gonna have to train. You're gonna have to start running every day, right? You're gonna have to be preparing. You're gonna have to be taking action to that goal. And a lot of times with business and success, we have these goals, but we're not taking action against that. What you need to focus on changing your life, but just in little increments, right? Like I said, changing those habits, those daily habits, and then changing your mind. If you spent 5 minutes a day, that's it. 5 minutes a day, and you did it 7 days a week, 30 days a month, that'd be over 1,000 minutes a month that you would spend focusing or building your life. I believe that you could learn more than you could from 4 or 5 years in college. Maybe you're not gonna get that degree in liberal arts, maybe you're not gonna get a degree in, Egyptian pyramid. This isn't just about money. This is about a way to achieve success. So if you don't make the change, your life's not gonna get better. Your life's gonna be the same as it always has been. Only way to beat the odds is with massive effort. You gotta take action. And you need to find new mentorships, you need to build new relationships. I put together this free guide. It's how to increase your net worth. And it kind of walks you through this, gives you some steps, helps you figure out where you are today, make a plan to improve. And I'm just giving that to you for free. Check it out in the link below. Download that guide, how to increase your net worth. If you like this video, give me some thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me some thumbs down. Let me know. It helps me decide what content to provide. Of course, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and leave comments down below. I answer every single question. I'd love to have discussion in the comments. So hope to see you in the comments and on the next video. And that's it. To your success. I'm out.